Welcome to Self-Care Tips. I am Irene Joroge, and today we're going to look at nutrition and getting your proportions right. Your well-balanced diet should include vegetables, which should usually be 50% of your plate. You can choose greens of all types, salads, and remember, raw vegetables always produce the best results in your body because the vitamins have not been tampered with. And then next is your protein. Your protein content should comprise at least 30% of your plate. Your meat, your proteins, whatever meat you decide to use, whether it's fish, chicken, or even beef or mutton. But mutton is fatty, so use less of it. Remember, vegetables and proteins provide you with a lot of vitamins, minerals, and protein, of course, is a body builder. Part of your vegetables should also include lentils. This adds a lot of nutrition. It gives a punch to your food. It gives that good taste. If you don't have meat, you can always substitute with beans or other lentils, which are rich in protein, and they will give you that balanced requirement for your nutrition. And then now we come to the carbs, which should actually be only 20%. It's good to choose your carbs. You can either have chapati, brown chapati, or your rice, and of course 20%, we're talking of very little. It's just gives a small portion of your carbohydrates, and this will ensure that you remain healthy and your health will be okay. You have your healthy eating plan. So this is an example of a good, well-balanced plate. And then of course add things like fruits, water, and other additions. This has been Self-Care Tips on healthy eating.
I do need to talk to you. It has to do with something really important and it's really urgent.
What is it? Careful, Connie. Don't you dare trust him. He's just taking advantage of your family.
The police are hounding me. They're all over me.
Are you serious?
Yes, because of this. I would like to ask you for her hand. I would like to marry Diana.
I'm sorry that we're all late today, but...
Good afternoon.
The Amazons.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii ya Usini Record, bonyeza star 811 star 396 hash.
Unakata pia kabaya Wakenya mnakuanga nako ya kuweka mtu kwa speaker alafu mnarekodi sauti yake bila ruhusa. Nikipata sauti yangu ina trend huko nje na kuna pesa napata, mtajua mimi mlu yako na roya na sina roya binadamu. Usini Record.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii Usini Record, bonyeza star 811 star 396 hash.
My name is Muhammad Ahmed Mohamud, the CEO of Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, popularly known as KDIC. The corporation recently increased the protected sum from the previous 100,000 shillings to 500,000 shillings per account. This is the highest in sub-Saharan Africa. In effect, the corporation now covers 99% of the depositors in the unlikely event of a closure of a bank. So KDIC encourages the depositors to continue doing business with our banks that are strong and resilient.
Be sure, check out for a KDIC sticker in your banking hall. KDIC, protecting your deposits.
What are the decisions the Kenya Republic is taking to guard itself against the Omicron variant of the coronavirus? And obviously it appears like it's a vaccine update happening around the country, because countries like the US and Israel are running to ban countries in the South African region, including South Africa and Botswana. They're not banning countries like Switzerland, where the Omicron variant was found. And they saw a hue and cry from Kenya, that is African leaders, over why these Western countries or European countries have reacted to African countries. We have details lined up for you tonight.
All right, and concerns about that new variant. The Ministry of Health in our country is actually warning that we could just revert back to screening people at the points of entry, just so that we better arm ourselves to fight the war against this new variant. But we got details about that. And also we'll be picking up from last Sunday's conversation. We were talking about deal breakers. It was the men's edition. And obviously, hatukumalizana. So this Sunday, we are picking it up, and we just want to continue with that conversation to sort of enlighten us as a society. What are some of those issues that as women we cannot take in a relationship, the deal breakers from a woman's perspective? I will be engaging Doreen Katiba Achieng. She is a marriage and a family counselor, and she'll be telling us more about this particular subject. So it's a conversation you cannot miss. If you're a man, please stay tuned. This is for you, special edition for the men. The ladies edition is loading, so keep watching this space.
All right.
But first, let's get the top stories.
Number one is to secure yourselves, all of us, through vaccines, that the vaccine is safe.
Kenyans urged to get COVID vaccine as government heightens surveillance at entry points, stemming possible fallout. DP Ruto promises fair party nominations in UDA, and take their money but vote for me. ODM leader Raila Odinga urges electorate not to be swayed by stolen money. And of course, we'll also be updating you on a live match that is ongoing right now. Chelsea and Manchester United. The game is at 1-1. We'll be updating you when I'm on the other end of the studio for sports. Welcome to the bulletin. My name is John Jacob Kioria, and Wangeshi is a sign language interpreter.
And my name is Serfine Achieng Oma. Let's kickstart this straight away. The Ministry of Health says it may reintroduce screening at all points of entry into the country following the outbreak of a new COVID-19 variant.
Health Principal Secretary Susan Mochache says surveillance has been intensified, calling on Kenyans to take the vaccination exercise seriously. Let's have a look at that story.
The Ministry of Health says Kenyans can only bank on the vaccines should the virus find its way into the country.
Number one is to secure yourselves, all of us, through vaccines, that the vaccine is safe. It has been seen to have now no side effects, and if they are minimal.
With the world grappling with the outbreak of the new variant already reported in several countries, the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Susan Mochache, says the virus has all along been mutating, but the vaccines have played a big role in taming the impact.
It is a virus that mutates and continues to mutate. If you recall, a few months ago, we were dealing with the Delta virus. Now we have the Micron virus. And the good news is that the vaccines that we have still remain useful and are, they are resistant to all the variants that have been coming.
Mochache reiterated that surveillance has been intensified at all points of entry to ensure the economy does not fall back to depression.
Tourism is going to be going into the peak month right now, around now in December, and that should not be frustrated at all because there is a new variant. If we all adhere to the protocols, we make sure that vaccines are taken, there is no need for anybody to panic because that is the only way we can secure our country.
South Africa, where the new variant Omicron was discovered, is lamenting that it is being punished instead of being applauded for discovering the new variant of COVID-19. Already, the World Health Organization is warning that the new variant is of concern. Kamchemenza for Sunday Express.
Now, still staying on matters COVID-19, Kenya has so far vaccinated over 6.93 million people against COVID-19. According to the Ministry of Health, 4.28 million have been partially immunized, while over 2.65 million have received both doses. In the last 24 hours, 11 people have tested positive for the virus from 2,463 samples screened, indicating a positivity rate of 0.5%. No fatalities were reported in the same period, and the number of deaths associated with the virus remain 5,333. Globally, statistics from the Johns Hopkins University indicate that over 260.8 million people have been infected, while over 5.1 million have died. Now, switching gears to the political environment, Deputy President William Ruto has asked politicians seeking elective positions to conduct their campaigns peacefully. Ruto called on leaders to desist from using the youth to cause chaos and instead focus on offering solutions to problems bedeviling the country. Ruto, who was in Kirinyaga, said the United Democratic Alliance Party advocates for political tolerance, peaceful coexistence and democracy. Let's get that report.
Speaking in Kirinyaga County, the Deputy President assured UDA aspirants that the party will conduct free, fair, democratic and verifiable nominations. Ruto warning that there will be no preserve of any seat for anyone, saying it's voters who have the final say on issues of elections.
Watu wa Kirinyaga, mimi nauliza nyinyi, si mnajua tuko wengi hapa? Singirishi yuko hapa, si Waiguru wako hapa, si wabunge wote wako hapa. Mimi nataka niwaulize kwa unyenyekevu, hawa wote ni viongozi wetu, sawa sawa, na sisi tumesema tunaheshimu kila kiongozi na wenye kuamua ni nyinyi.
He called on leaders seeking various seats in the party to remain united and sell their agenda to the people, adding that confrontation of politics should be shunned.
Mimi nawaomba kwa unyenyekevu, hii chama ya mahasla hatutaki vita, hatutaki fujo, hatutaki matusi, hatutaki kulimana. Tunataka tutembee pamoja na wananchi waamue.
In a tense meeting attended by both Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru and area women representative Purity Ngirichi, the DP said he was best suited to move the country's development agenda forward. The area governor Anne Waiguru urged politicians to subject themselves to democratic processes where the people will have the final say, calling for peaceful campaigns, a position supported by a host of leaders who attended the event.
Wananchi ndio wataamua nani atachaguliwa Kirinyaga. Na sisi hatutaki fujo, hatutaki matusi. Tumekubaliana.
Sisi wote tunang'ang'ania tikiti. Ni kusema ya kwamba chama ya UDA ndio iko na mizizi.
Hii nyumba yetu ni kubwa na tutakubali kila mtu akuje kwa UDA.
Nyinyi mpango ni trickle down ama bottom up?
For Sunday Express, I'm Ben Troinju.
Hebu nione sisi ni watu wa amani.
And still in the 2022 succession race, the ODM party leader Raila Odinga has taunted the campaign of Deputy President William Ruto, saying it is anchored on dishonesty and empty political rhetoric. Raila alleges that the DP has refused to disclose the true source of his wealth, despite being pushed to do so. The ODM leader was speaking in Embakasi East, where he challenged Kenyans to vet politicians before voting for them into office. Zainab Saeed with the details.
After spending 2 days courting the Mount Kenya region, Raila Odinga arrived back in the capital where he attended a church service in Donholm Estate on Sunday. Odinga then made several stops in the area before addressing thousands of his supporters at the Jacaranda grounds.
Juzi mimi nimetangaza hapa Nairobi, najua shida mingi iko hapa. Mambo ya mabarabara, mambo ya maji, kodi ya nyumba, mambo ya uchukuzi ya takataka kama sewage na kadhalika. Sio? Yale yote tutaweza kuyatatua.
Odinga took a swipe at the deputy president, accusing him of being insincere with Kenyans in his campaign for the presidency.
Anakuja na pesa kwa magunia. Ati Harambee kwa kundi ya kina mama milioni 10. Harambee kwa kundi ya vijana milioni 10. Gari kwa shule ya pande ine milioni 10. Gari ya askofu ya kanisa milioni 10. Mwaka moja jamaa anatumia shilingi milioni 100,000. Mshahara yake ni milioni 2 peke yake.
Raila said he will strive to ensure that health services are affordable and of the highest quality.
Industrial area imekuwa kama ni kaburi ya viwanda. Viwanda ambazo zilikuwa na ajiri watu 1,000 sasa ni store ya kuweka makontena ambazo zimebeba bidhaa kutoka China. Bidhaa kutoka China ambayo sasa inaajiri tu kiwanda moja, washman 2. Kampuni ambayo ilikuwa inaajiri watu 1,000 inaajiri watu 2 peke yake. Maana yake tume-export labor yetu kule China.
Leaders accompanying the ODM leader urged Kenyans to rally behind the former premier in the march to Canaan.
Hii kiwanja ilikuwa itengenezwe. Yule mtu anaitwa Ruto akakula pesa ya hii kiwanja. Alafu aseme tutaunga yeye kula Nairobi. Nairobi kula ndio nani? Baba, maisha hii Nairobi imekuwa ngumu sana. Lazima uangalie bei ya maisha hapa Nairobi. Tunataka baba, ukiingia uongee na hao jamaa wa KRA wapunguze bei ya unga, wapunguze bei ya mafuta.
Odinga will on 10th December officially throw his hat into the presidential race.
It is here at the Jacaranda grounds that the ODM party leader Raila Odinga has assured Kenyans of economic revamp if elected in office in 2022. For Sunday Express, I'm Zainab Said.
All right, away from that report by Zainab, we take you to Uasin Gishu County. Amani National Congress party leader Musalia Mudavadi has emphasized the importance of adherence to policies and laws of the country. Speaking after attending Mass at St. Jude Catholic Church Huruma in Eldoret, Mudavadi took issue with politicians who use state and public resources for personal gain.
Mudavadi, who was in Eldoret, claimed that some politicians are using school buses for their own personal interest and campaigns.
We have seen double standards in this country. Professor Magoha said school buses should not be used for private functions.
The ANC leader appealed to the government to ensure that state resources are not used to give a certain group undue political advantage. Musalia called on Kenyans to always judge their leaders before voting them into office.
We want free and fair election. No state institution should be used in any way to try and uptwist the decision of the Kenyans. So I maintain that position. We want free and fair elections.
Naomba kiongozi mwenye atakuja mwaka ujao au kiongozi mwenye ataweka Kenya njia safi sana, njia laini ya kiuchumi, ya kuweka Wakenya pamoja, ya kuangamiza ukabila, ya kuangamiza ufisadi na kuona kwamba vijana wetu wote wamepata ajira.
Meanwhile, National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi says politicians must start telling Kenyans the truth and avoid the doublespeak. Muturi, who attended a Thanksgiving ceremony of Reverend Gakibe at St. Stephen PCA Church in Kaga, Lari, Kiambu County, said it was unfortunate that politicians even take to the pulpit to lie to Kenyans.
It is very appropriate for positive activism to happen because unless we are proactive, we are likely to get this country in the wrong direction. We need to be always honest in what we do, and we also need to show that we mean what we say and say what we mean.
while ODM presidential hopeful Jimmy Wanjigi has vowed to take his quest for the orange presidential ticket to the wire as former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka warned him to prepare for a stormy ride ahead. Kalonzo, who held talks with Wanjigi, recounted how he had to part ways with Raila in 2007 and warned Wanjigi not to expect smooth nominations.
Huyu baba sijui kama anaingia kwa ring, unajua hajasema anaingia kwa ring. Hajazungumza? Labda atasema sijui. Akiingia hiyo ni sawa, tunataka aingie kwa ring kama anataka. Hiyo ni demokrasia. Kasarani mtaona ile technical knockout ile kali ambao hamjaona.
Ombea tu. Mimi nakuombea kama unaingiliana na baba. Kikiumana huko, kimbia kwa ndugu yako. Bwana naona hiyo inaitwaje? Kasarani hiyo itakuwa kisirani zaidi. That is my pure advice.
Moving on, the Media Council of Kenya board has renewed the contract of David Omoyo as the Chief Executive Officer for a second and final term. Omoyo will now serve until July 2027. In a statement, MCQ Chairperson Maina Mwirori said the removal, or rather the renewal of Omoyo's contract had been made in accordance with the State Corporations Advisory Committee guidelines, which require that a decision on the CEO's contract be made at least 6 months to the expiry of the current term to allow for a smooth transition. Omoyo's term was to end in July 2022. Maina, at the same time, said the council is currently finalizing processes guided by the Ministry of ICT and the development of a media policy, Media Diversity Fund, Advertising Code of Practice, and a review of a Media Council Act 2013. Time for a breather, and of course when you come back, women continue to explain their deal breakers to men. So men, sit back, let's listen to their deal breakers.
You've said it. Sit back, relax, and wait for that conversation coming up shortly. Doreen Katiba Achieng is already in studio. I'll be engaging her shortly on some of those deal breakers in a relationship from a lady's point of view. So do stay with us, and please continue engaging us on social media. Tell us what you also think about that list that has been growing since last Sunday. At KBC Channel 1, use the hashtag Sunday Express. We will be back shortly.
Najua pale mnapolala na mnapoamkia.
Itachukua muda gani wewe kujua kwa she's not your match?
I don't know wakili, I just don't know.
Nataka kitu chako hata mbingu utaileta hapa chini.
Nilipokuwa kijijini alikuwa hai, lakini kwa sasa siwezi jua.
Now more than ever, you need to be scared of me.
Log on to the KBC website at www.kbc.co.ke to get the latest breaking news, entertainment, sports, politics, lifestyle or business trends from Kenya and around the world. Never miss new episodes from your favorite TV shows, reruns and movies. Just stream online or watch live on your YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1 TV shows. For the day's biggest stories, trustworthy news and family entertainment, log on to KBC Channel 1. Watch what you want anytime, anywhere.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Now, the current high temperatures being experienced in the country will continue into January and February next year. Deputy Director of Meteorological Services Bernard Chanzu says lack of rainfall and cloud cover has worsened the situation as long hours of direct sunlight is contributing to the high temperatures. Have a look.
The Deputy Director of Meteorological Services, Bernard Chanzu, attributed the high temperatures being experienced in the country to climate change arising from global warming. According to Chanzu, the development of La Nina in the Pacific Ocean has led to reduced moisture, hence the clear skies, which then allows for long hours of insolation. He warned that the dry air and dust could also see a rise in respiratory infections and urged for precaution among the public. The long hours in open spaces directly under the sun's heat could also lead to dehydration as bodies lose water through sweating. Chanzu advised the public to take plenty of fluids in their diets in order to stay hydrated. He noted that urban areas that are more like concrete jungles are becoming heat islands, while lack of vegetation to absorb the heat makes the concrete surfaces become heat conductors. Ruth Wamboi for Sunday Express.
All right. And now, if Teen FM, a vernacular radio station, an affiliate of Kenya Broadcasting Corporation that broadcasts in the Somali language, this weekend took its Meet the People tour to the popular Zisli, Pangani, and South Sea areas of the city to interact with its fans. The opportunity is so locals who have supported the growth of a station mingle freely with presenters who thank them for the support.
Today, Teen FM, we conducted Nairobi Road Show. Our road show was fruitful. We started in Isli, and we went to South Sea, we went to South B, we went to the entire Eastlands, and then the culmination was at Isli towards 5 p.m. The reception was great. We were welcomed by the Somalis and also the non-Somalis. And Teen FM is, as you know, is one of the brands of KBC. It is an household name that's known by every Somali across the board, whether in Northeastern or also in Nairobi. We are very happy because most of the people that we interacted with during our road show, they know the presenters, they know the kind of programming that we have. They also suggested some new programs that we need to include into our schedule in the near future.
We head over to the interview. Elders in Laikipia have initiated a series of meetings in a bid to resolve long-standing conflicts between communities residing in the county. The conflicts have led to loss of lives, destruction of property, and theft of livestock. The move comes even as a section of leaders in Elgeyo Marakwet condemned recent attacks of herders in Kapkubil by suspected bandits. Details of this and other stories in the county news roundup.
Elders in Laikipia County are pushing for peaceful coexistence after months of conflict between communities living in the region. Speaking at Naibor, former National Assembly Speaker Francis Ole Kaparo said that the initiative is intended to encourage young people from the region to shun criminal activities that have led to conflicts.
Tumekuwa tukijadiliana leo yote vile wao watachukua jukumu yao kama wazee na viongozi ya vijana, kwa sababu wako hapa kwenda kuwazungumzia wenzao kuasha mambo ya uhalifu.
Kaparo spoke even as a section of leaders in Elgeyo Marakwet condemned the recent killings of 4 herders in Kapkobil.
Ya usalama kati ya jamii tofauti wanaoishi area hii ya Social, na hasa kati ya wafugaji na wakulima, tutarudisha chini kiasi kama hatutaweza kumaliza.
Meanwhile, Bishop Peter Achieng of the Apostolic Church has urged politicians to refrain from making inciting remarks during the campaign period and instead promote peace.
Calling upon all our servants, fellow servants, irrespective of which church, even the Muslims and whatever denomination, that if it is about God, God is a God of peace.
Elsewhere, the disruption of jobs occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic has seen many tenants flee to the rural areas. According to real estate experts, enterprising youths are gradually filling the gap to meet the peaking demands for houses.
It's not easy to be caught in land if you know the ways to follow before buying land. There are 3 forms. Don't skip either. There's the land itself, there's the survey itself, and there's the legal part itself.
Meanwhile, Nairobi woman representative Esther Passaris wants the government to keenly monitor the ongoing drought in several parts of the country and put in place concrete measures to deal with it. Passaris, who was distributing food to the needy in Westlands, Nairobi, said many families are in dire need of relief food assistance as a matter of urgency.
Tunajua hali ya njaa iko juu na tunajaribu juu chini tuhakikishe kwa watu wetu na wanyama wasikufe kwa sababu ya njaa.
Finally, more than 50 cooperative groups involved in cattle farming in Tigania West, Central and East of Meru County have benefited from free artificial insemination kits donated by Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries.
Tutakuwa na training ya the farmers. Maybe next week Mungu akisaidia. Ndio wale farmers tuleta watu wa Kagirik wakuja wasaidie kutrain wakulima.
Kenya Animal Genetic Resources Central Kirinyaga Station Manager David Sang said the project will go a long way in boosting the dairy farming in the region.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email newsroom@kbc.co.ke, call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
The mission is to contribute to national development through provision of sustainable peace and tranquility to all people. Join KBC Channel 1 on Monday, the 29th of November 2021 for the Administration Police Service Passing Out Parade at Embakasi, to be graced by President Uhuru Kenyatta.
All right, welcome back, and we continue with the program. Right now we want to start our interview. We pick up from where we put a comma last Sunday. We were talking about relationship deal breakers from a lady's point of view, and we were just sharing and trying to enlighten ourselves as a society. What are some of those things that women cannot tolerate from a man in a relationship? And I said, and people still keep asking, what about the women? The women's edition is coming soon. I keep saying that, so don't fail to watch this space. We are just beginning with the men. And most of you from last conversation, we cited issues to do with lack of respect. We talked about poor hygiene. There was being stingy. Some say they couldn't take a man who is stingy, and there are others who said laziness and lack of vision is also a turn off for most women in a relationship if you're a man, so know that. And one guy here, his name is DG Robim Kaliwao, defending the men, saying as much as ladies don't like filthy and stingy men, men also don't like ladies who ask for money every time, especially when they've not known each other very well. So in as much as you're complaining that you do not like stingy men, men are also turned away by women who ask for money all the time. So that and much more I'm going to be discussing with my guest, Doreen Katiba Achieng. Thank you, Doreen, for creating time for us once again.
Welcome.
All right, so Doreen, let's begin with that particular point. Ladies are asking that men shouldn't be stingy, but again,
the man is complaining.
Don't ask for too much or all the time.
When should they ask?
Yeah, so how much is too much?
At what point should we say we've known each other long enough? He should ask himself that.
Yeah, but again, this issue of asking for money always, does it mean that the man is always the one who's supposed to be
dishing out cash? You hear them complaining was amekula fair. She didn't turn up.
What wache kukula fair anyway,
I'm thinking when you're in a relationship with somebody, you've set up boundaries, you set up your own unwritten down rules. I know there are those who write down rules and say, we will be meeting every Saturday at 5 p.m. There are those who do that. And there are those who say, anytime we have time, we can meet. So if we do not agree on how to handle finances, then that can come in. So that gentleman needs to know at what point do we say we are comfortable enough with each other. Now we can easily say, this week I'm doing so badly, I took a loan, would you mind giving me kitu kidogo? At what point? So I cannot say that it is bad to ask for money. I am assuming we are having something nice. We trust each other. So what's wrong with me asking? So it's not even
wrong for the man to ask for money from the woman?
It's not wrong, but depending on at what point do they know each other. I know there are those who will meet you the first time and the following day, do you have 100 shillings? You know, you're like, we just met. So
that's a red flag.
It's a red flag. You will keep asking.
All right. So, but then again, as we leave that point aside, very quickly, you know, what should guide then how much is too much asking for money? Because men are complaining that it's too much. You know, ladies are asking for too much that we cannot even be able to.
And now in the too much, what is it for? You know, when you have a lady in your life and she wants to keep up with the Jonases, she wants to keep up with her friends, her peers. There's a new weave in town, there's what in town. Watch the person you are getting involved with. Does this person ask you for money to top up her fees? Or she was buying a car and she's short of some cash? Or they have an issue in their home, they've lost a relative, they are contributing. Look at the things anaombea pesa for. Not going to the salon, going to the movies, then there's a new shoe. Check out the woman you're going out with.
All right. What else, Doreen? So let's leave money aside.
Yes.
What else is a turn off for ladies? Let the men.
The list is long.
This. Yeah.
And I want the men not to kill us.
Yeah.
Their part
we are doing
is
this
coming.
for good reasons, by the way.
We are trying to fix the country, as my friend says it. We are fixing. You know, when you fix a relationship, then you fix up.
Yeah, the whole
bigger
society
picture.
And the country at large.
Apart from the one people kept talking about, infidelity, everybody has been asking until we had to write something, remember. There's this one, dishonesty. These guys who are never truthful. You will tell them, we are meeting at such and such a point. They will tell you, niko mali fulani. Have you entered a matatu and somebody says, niko tu hapa City Stadium?
It's You're the common Kenyan culture.
Why are you lying? You know. So there are such guys. So ladies are complaining, they are not truthful. Uongo mwingi sana. So you know, when you keep saying, I've gone for a workshop in Mombasa, but people always see you. They'll say, but we saw him in Kisumu. I am this way. So they need to be truthful. Why are they lying? It means there's something you're hiding. Yeah. Can I trust you? No. Yeah. So that's a red flag.
You could see it as a small lie, like it's harmful, but it could send a bigger.
It gives back.
And ladies can overthink.
We overthink. You know, when you keep telling me this once, twice, they say once bitten, twice shy. So it becomes a habit until by the time you are now settled in now marriage, you're like, these are things which were happening, but I was not taking keen. So how do you change? You can only bend a tree when it is still young.
All right. As you take us to the next point, a concern from a lady who on inbox on Facebook. The habit of men thinking we are too little for intelligent conversations like investment, property, you know, shopping and all that. I mean, that is such a turn off for her.
It is.
Why do you think there is a mismatch when it comes to such conversations in a relationship?
I will not mention those communities where they will tell you, even in the Bible, let me go back to the Bible, the days of Jesus, they will count the men and not count the children. The women were gathered together with the children. So if you look at your Bible, it say he fed 5,000 men. Have you ever noticed? Women were not looked at as very important. So their societies even today view women like that. Nilikuja kwa hiyo boma nikapata watoto tu. Sikupata mtu. Meaning there was no man. So I think these kind of guys have been brought up with such kind of mentality.
Yeah, how bad is this culture?
It is bad.
You're investing as a man, you want to buy property, you
don't consult
you don't consult your wife.
You only consult men who might be your friends or your relatives. So because they've been brought up like this, or they've looked at the way some people bring up their families and they say, she will not help me. There's nothing she knows. That time, the woman might be more learned than him. So I also discovered that when they think we are at par, they think you want to mea pembe, you will be above him. It's not true. We are meant to work as partners. Yeah.
But let's open this up. There are men who fear that, you know, the moment you tell the woman everything,
she'll tell the
how
whole
much
town.
you're worth, not even tell, it's dangerous.
Hey.
You know, in the sense that there are some who are spendthrifts, the moment they know that you have so much,
yes,
their budget now is
increases.
A bit, yeah.
I saw a shoe, I saw a bag.
Because they know your bank account.
Yeah.
At the moment you start telling them about this land you're buying, this property you're eyeing, they start thinking, you know, you have money and they can just spend it anyhow. There are women who
are like that, actually.
Yeah. So what?
I think the
what do you
problem
do?
here is when the man went shopping, the kind of woman he picked. Bringing us to the next point, when you have different values, that is another deal breaker. We do not agree on our values. We do not agree on how to handle our finances. We do not agree on how many kids do we want. We do not agree on will we be going to church, or I'm not a church person, do we go to the mosque? That is where the problem is. Different values. My wife looks at life to be easy. So this man is thinking, let me invest. If I tell her, and because he shopped for the wrong woman, we are looking at relationships and even marriages, I'm assuming, Cynthia. So you shopped for a spendthrift. You allowed her to go Dubai. I should go to Dubai one of these days. Those shopping malls, you allowed her. Let me digress. A friend used to say, when we were dating and courting, he would take me out and we would rave and drink and do all those things. Sasa amenioa, he does not want me to go. How? See where the problem is? When you've shopped for you, know that now we want to get married, we might have children, some things need to change. That is why I was telling you, some things which are not written down, you agree. You know, we can be going out maybe once a month, but when the children start coming, I don't expect you to go out and dance.
All right.
There was Luo night. So now you have her in the house, you had gotten used to taking her shopping, Johannesburg. So
what happened?
Where was the problem?
But it's also wrong for the man to go alone. That happens. I mean, they want you to stay in the house because
that
now
is
you're
where
wife,
now,
but they continue with their former life.
Yes,
when
and my life stops.
And for you have to stay and take care of the children.
So that is where the deal breaker comes in. We must agree that we will be going out for particular kind of outings. Sio zile za usiku na kulala. And we have to go together. Agree. I see people taking their wives out, maybe for coffee, for dinner, and Luo night. There was Luo night. Was it yesterday or something?
So it can happen.
It can.
I mean, let's talk about something else also that before I move to that, I just wanted you to clarify on what is the importance of a couple coming together and sharing this vision, like in terms of investment, in terms of putting their heads together when they're trying to develop themselves. I mean, how should they work this out, and how, you know, what's the value add in their relationship if they are to go that direction?
It is very important
for them who are still independent
to work as a team
aspect.
You see, when you have a salary and I have a salary, we know how much. This is where trust comes in. This is all about trust. I don't trust you, I don't tell you about my investments. I trust you, I tell you this is, I'm thinking now that the children have not started coming yet, we can look for some piece of land and put up a house. So that when they come and our finances yanze kupanda, school fees and college, we have something. Sit down, work as a team. You know, when you bring me into your program, I feel appreciated. But when you run around talking to other people, I'm like, but it is our house. It is our car.
You consult your relatives on
yes.
phone. Yeah. All right. So, what else? Sorry, I cut you short on your list earlier.
What else is, when now you are not, have you gone for funeral services where the man has suddenly slept? The wife did not know even where the man used to bank his money. She didn't know anything about his finances. So now the company calls her and she looks, a bad word, she looks silly. You've been married 40 years. You did not know your husband had a home, a rental home in Naivasha. You're like, I did not know. Men watching, include your wives. If they don't look so interested, teach them. You're planning for the future of your children and the bigger picture, who is your family.
Anything can happen.
Anything. And it happens.
Many people lose their property and their savings just like that because nobody knew.
And another
you go
thing,
with them to the
another
grave.
thing, even if I had an idea, you did not include me, so I'm not part of it. So when you are not there and inapotea, I'm like, I never had a feel of it, so it's not mine.
All right, let's talk about the family ties. Now that this relates with that, there are people who would call, and it's not bad to consult your siblings, your
you can never cut yourself off from your relatives.
But it ties with the other point that there are women who feel concerned that in as much as they got married to this person, it's like they never really got married. The links from the other side.
They're still tied to the mother's apron.
How destructive is this?
In fact, let me go back to those who are not married. There's a deal breaker where somebody wrote, a deal breaker is that man's roommate. And I was like, roommate? The ones who are still staying with their mothers. He cannot think without her. He will say, if my mama is not feeling well, we cannot go out. That time, the guy is 38. 38, you're still living with your mother. If she's an invalid, employ a nurse. So such kind of men, then it moves to the question you've just asked. That because he had so gotten used to being told what to do by the relatives, the mama, the brothers, when we are now in a marriage, he has no say.
But you cannot cut links completely. I want you to help us understand how much is too much. Because you cannot cut links with your siblings.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah, you can't.
Let me give you a bad example. I have a friend who got married and the husband used to stay with his brother. So now when the lady is now the lady of the house, that brother used to visit and put on the man's clothes. She was like, those are Joseph's clothes. Say, yeah, but he's my brother. We share. Say, no, he's now married. And she wants him, the man now wants this lady to wash this clothes. She's like, you are our wife, you are our wife. You have no say. I can wear his clothes. So now when she complains, he goes home to tell the relatives that my wife is fighting my brothers because they are 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they say, the lady is not a good lady. Why is she separating us?
The family. So talk to the men. So
I'm talking to the men.
Yeah, how do you balance this relationship?
I'm trying to tell men, when you bring me in your house, I am your helpmate. I am your partner. I am your friend. First of all, talk to me, because we are building a relationship. Number one, you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. And you cannot completely separate yourself from your family. But what you can do, you can now say, I normally hear some pastors when I attend weddings, they say, where are the sisters? Simameni nyote. Where are the what? So the relatives of the man wanasimamishwa for the lady and say, you see these ones? These are the biggest problems in your relationship. Because if you do not tell them, you can only reach here, they will interfere with you. My parents or my relatives cannot come and tell us, you need to have this number of children. You need to take your kids to this school. You can suggest. You need to buy that land. No, that is for the two of us.
You can suggest.
You can suggest in a conversation.
All right. I want to
heated today.
Yeah, I want you to tell us something else as I look at what's on social media as well. So what else is a turn off for ladies from a lady's perspective?
From a lady's perspective.
Because tonight is all about the men.
I wrote another one. He is not a feminist. It's not that we went to Beijing and I want to now put on the trousers. No. I want you to understand that we can be equal. You know, the ladies who complain that when they go to the offices and the men look at them and like, you are in the man's world. So now there are men who view us like that. You are my partner, but you want to tell me, hey, as much as you love Man U or Chelsea, the games are on now
Yeah.
for the footballers.
Yeah.
There are ladies who love football. When I was young, I used to play football. My little boy normally asks me, Mommy, which is your team? And I tell him, Banyana, the South African ladies team. So you will not tell me, because you are a lady, you cannot do this, you cannot do this. I'm trying to tell you, things men can do, a lady can also do. But I know I am a lady. I'm not getting out of it. So being a feminist, understanding that even ladies can become engineers, not just nurses. Nowadays, we even have men who are nurses. Most hairdressers are men, and they're the best.
Yeah,
Most chefs are men, and they're good. So the ladies are saying, being a feminist.
Think about it this way, though. Unfortunately, if this person, sleeps, and you're left alone with the children, and all along they've never allowed you to know,
to be independent,
to run the home or to do certain things. These were reserved for the man in the family. How do you run the family?
I have seen.
How do you take care of the children?
I have seen. And it is sad. The lady was like one of the children.
But there should be limits.
Yeah.
Even as you strive to do what the man does, but
you see,
you respect their space.
I know my space.
Yeah.
You see, now when I'm married, I know when we come from town, I will not expect my husband to say, what are we having for supper? That is my place. I had organized myself. So when you are like, what are the children wearing today? The lady should know her place, the man should know his place. It is all about balance.
It's balanced. Humphrey Brevian on Twitter, you say, what I can't entertain is lack of respect and cheating. Collins Nyamonga, you say, nice discussion on Sunday Express. Though the conversation is based on pushing the boy child further into the corner, I believe in partners complementing one another when it comes to finances. That's Collins Nyamonga. Thank you for your comment. We're just about to wrap this up. We have very few minutes left, unfortunately. I want you to talk to us about something pivotal. Men, they say, are hunters, and they love it when they're hunting for something. This happens during the dating days. Women don't like it when the hunting stops. Why does it stop?
We are created to be hunted.
But why does it stop, though?
I think
this I believe cuts across. The women should know why men, why they push their men to stop hunting, and the men also should hear
tell us why they stop. I think when you see something you like and you pursue it, the adrenaline is in the pursuing. When you get it, the way the hunter runs after the lion, and now he's I found it. And then
finally,
they relax. And I've also been hunted. I've been found.
Now I can go and
hizo t-shirt za unalala na sengenge.
No, we cannot mention those ones.
Those ones. It's not allowed.
They've not paid for advertisement.
So now are those clothes which
baggy t-shirts, and you know them. Ladies, you know those t-shirts you wear.
Those
when you're
things
going
we wear on our head when we are going to sleep. It's not allowed. So the men are arguing. The Humphrey is complaining that we pushed him in a corner. It's not true. Collins, we are just trying to make sure we have a balance. The hunting stops when there's no more chase.
It's not exciting.
I'm in the house. So he feels like I have found her. You've heard them saying, Sinimesha kuoa, I've bought you a car, you have beautiful children, there's a big TV this size. What else do you want? I still want you to tell me, you look so beautiful. That is a chase. I love the way you cooked today. When I look at you, my dear, I feel complete. Those are the simple things women love. It's not about you sending me notes the whole day. When you send me every 1 hour, then there's a problem. That's also a red flag.
Supposed to be too much.
That's jealousy, where somebody was saying before we go off, jealousy is one of the red flags. Jealousy.
Okay. So why does the hunting stop for the ladies?
I stop hunting the man.
No. When a man is no longer interested in pursuing you,
and we are together in the house.
Yes. Why does it happen? Because sometimes some men complain that it's the ladies who.
Sometimes they say we push them off. We don't make an effort. That's what they say. If I was making an effort in my looks, I am okay. Niko hapa, si nimekupata Joseph. So what? Nimejiachilia. So sometimes ladies munisamee leo, but we also jiachilia. Another thing, the men also, I am in the house. So what? The chase stops. So he starts, because men love the thrill. he will notice another thing. He'll start chasing, maybe buying a car, getting a promotion, and slowly those things take first precedence. Or even another lady will come across us. So as he remembers how it was nice pursuing me, he starts the thrill again. So it's a vicious circle. So we are forever running after them.
And keep changing as ladies, keep transitioning, go to school, learn a new career, learn a new...
Change your hairstyle.
Yes, you look different, because when you look different, when you're a different kind of a human being in the house, they'll be like,
read
I need to chase
books.
that also. Yeah.
Look
read
sharp.
Books, grow.
Tokezea na quote nyingine hapo and
Pika chakula ingine tofauti. I feel like we can go on and on the whole night on this, but so far so good. I'm sure on this program we can never really conclude anything. Finish. But I believe that as we have these conversations, we're helping somebody, you're learning something, and you're changing your life in a way, in one way or the other. Thank you for also...
Let's all put an effort in improving it. Let's do away with the red flags. We've seen them. Let's strive to just have a balance in our relationships.
Yes. Thank you so much, Doreen, for creating time for us. Doreen Katiba is a marriage and family counselor. She's a songstress also, a mother of 3 big boys. Been married for how many years?
24.
24. And this thing still happen in your marriage? The chasing, the hunting? Just by the way?
Yeah. When I stop, I watch him and I'm like, why are you wearing that? He's like, who will see me? I'm like, me.
I'm seeing you.
It's for me, not for anybody.
We should have this conversation very soon. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. We are going to be taking a very short break. John Jacob Kioria is coming up shortly with the latest in the world of sports. Don't go too far.
I do need to talk to you. It has to do with something really important, and it's really urgent.
What is it? Careful, Connie. Don't you dare trust him. He's just taking advantage of your family.
The police are hounding me. They're all over me.
Are you serious?
Yes, because of this. I would like to ask you for her hand. I would like to marry Diana.
I'm sorry that we're all late today, but...
Good afternoon.
The Amazons.
Now it's time for sports. Former Kenya Premier League champions Gor Mahia went down 1-0 against Otohu the Oyo of Congo in the CAF Confederations Cup first leg playoff match played today at the Alphonse Masabadi Bar Stadium in Brazzaville. The lone goal was scored by Roland Okuri in the 65th minute. Meanwhile, Tusker FC played to a barren draw against CS Serfine of Tunisia in the CAF Confederations Cup match played at the Nyayo National Stadium. The return legs of the two ties are scheduled for the 5th of next month.
In the early minutes of the first half, both teams showed equal chances of scoring, but after 15 minutes, Tusker dominated the game and made several attempts, which the Tunisian side saved, forcing a goalless halftime draw. In the second half, Faxien dominated the game but wasted several scoring chances. However, the hosts looked relaxed in the second half. Their defense made no errors, hence the match ending a 0-0 draw. The CAF Confederation Cup playoff round second leg is set to take place on 5th of December this year. Daniel Mwendwa, Sports.
Now, Kenya has pulled in Group B of the second leg of the HSBC Sevens World Series to be held next weekend in Dubai. Kenya, who finished 8th in the first leg, also held in Dubai this weekend, will play United States, Australia and Canada in the second leg. First leg champions South Africa are in Pool A with Great Britain, Ireland and Japan. Our giants Fiji are in Pool C together with Argentina, France and Spain. South Africa top the table standings with 22 points after winning gold in Dubai, while USA and Argentina follow in the silver and bronze medal places with 19 and 17 points respectively. And Jamie Vardy scored twice as Leicester beat Watford 4-2 in a hugely entertaining English Premier League match to ruin Claudio Ranieri's return to the King Power Stadium. Manchester City defeated West Ham 2-1, while Everton lost 1-0 to Brentford. Burnley's match against Tottenham Hotspur at Turf Moor was postponed 50 minutes before kick-off because of heavy snow.
Manchester City midfield pair Ike Gundogan and Fernandinho were on target as Pep Guardiola's Premier League superiority over West Ham continued. City have now won 10 out of 11 top-flight meetings with the Hammers under the Spaniard. In a game played in a snowstorm before half-time, skipper Gundogan provided the decisive moment after 33 minutes when he turned home a deflected Riyad Mahrez effort at the far post. It was the German midfielder's third goal of the season and his second in 4 league matches, and was followed up in the final minute by Fernandinho, who had only been introduced 3 minutes earlier to tie the game up. The veteran Brazilian had not scored a Premier League goal since October 2018, but found the target from the edge of the box. Manuel Lanzini pulled one back with the final kick of the game, which cost Ederson his 100th clean sheet in all competitions, but did nothing to prevent City moving back into second spot, 6 points clear of the Hammers. In the other games, Leicester City defeated Watford 4-2, while Everton lost 1-0 away to Brentford.
And of course, it's time to wind up, but an update on a game that ended just like about 20 minutes ago. The derby between Manchester United and Chelsea ended it on a 1-1 draw. And that means then Chelsea continue holding the lead in the English Premier League tables. Well, about Manchester United, nice trial. Not too much.
But the energy you started the bulletin as we were expecting the results, and now that you're delivering the results, what has happened? The curve
well, I'm a Chelsea supporter. I'm a Chelsea supporter. Clearly today was a disappointing result, but 1-1 draw is fine.
Not bad.
Only that Manchester City is edging very close to Chelsea at this point. But anyway, we can do with what we gotta do. Yeah.
That explains it. It's a wrap. Thank you so much for creating time for us tonight and for also contributing to our conversation earlier. We will be continuing next Sunday, something else that will help you also be a better person. Thank you so much once again. My name is Serfine Achieng Oma, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Anne Wangeshi. Have a good night.
My name is John Jacob Kioria. Enjoy your week.
kupata sikiza tuni hii ya cha muhimu maishani, bonyeza star 811 star 962 hash.
Cha muhimu maishani si kuishi tu. Cha muhimu maishani ni mchango wetu katika kuboresha maisha yetu na wengine.
Ili kupata sikiza tuni hii, cha muhimu maishani, bonyeza star 811 star 962 hash.
My name is Mohammed Ahmed Mohamud, the CEO of Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, popularly known as KDIC. The corporation recently increased the protected sum from the previous 100,000 shillings to 500,000 shillings per account. This is the highest in sub-Saharan Africa. In effect, the corporation now covers 99% of the depositors in the unlikely event of a closure of a bank. So KDIC encourages the depositors to continue doing business with our banks that are strong and resilient.
Be sure, check out for a KDIC sticker in your banking hall. KDIC, protecting your deposits. The Amazons.
I do need to talk to you. It has to do with something really important, and it's really urgent.
What is it? Careful, Connie. Don't you dare trust him. He's just taking advantage of your family.
The police are hounding me. They're all over me.
Are you serious?
Yes, because of this. I would like to ask you for her hand. I would like to marry Diana.
I'm sorry that we're all late today, but...
Good afternoon.
The Amazons.
Hello good people, today's Ever Life is at Kiambu County, a cold place Banana, to be specific Kiabea, mtaa ndo Kiabea, na tuko hapa na msichana anaitwa Belinda, na Belinda amekuwa mgonjwa. She's a class 7 pupil, na tumekuja hapa because she needs to go to Kenyatta Hospital because as you can see amekuwa na growth for quite some time, na mama amesumbuka sana. Mama vile unamuona hako kazi. That's why akatuita, kama tukuje tushikane na yeye tupeleke msichana afanye surgery. And I know because this is not that big. It's something that can be removed, and that is why we are here today. And may God bless you as you purpose to work with young lady. She's bright, she has a bright future. Na niambia akiwa mkubwa she wants to be a doctor so that anaweza saidia kufanya kazi kama hii, because it imemwaffect sana. You can imagine the stigma shuleni, the stress and all that. So today we'll be working with her and we want to make sure that by next month tunarudi hapa msichana amefanywa surgery. Now what is waiting now, tumepata daktari pale Kenyatta, what is waiting is money afanywa surgery. So no. Yes. Whether introduce from majina zako na utuambie mtoto aligonjeka lini.
Majina naitwa Beatrice Awino. Nimezaliwa Busia. Mtoto nilimzaa akiwa mzima. Kamaliza miaka kama 10. Kitu ikaanza kama kujikuna tu. Lakini nikafikiria itaisha. Kwa muda wa mwaka kwenda kuchunguza juu alikuja akaenda kuishi kwingine juu hali ya maisha. Nikampea mama yangu na mandugu zangu wanisaidie nikiwa ninalea wengine. Kwenda kumwangalia nyumbani siku moja nikapata hizi vitu zimezonga. Wakaanza kuniadvise peleka hospitali, nikawa natumia hospitali ya Lupe. Nilienda 4 times sikusaidika. Kaambiwa niende Busia. Nimezunguka Busia. Kwa kila mwaka ninaenda, unaambiwa daktari atakuja. Unabaki hivyo. Time inafika unaambiwa tufanye booking. Inafika time unaenda, gari inachukua wagonjwa kwenda kutengenezwa, wewe una hata 10 bob. Unabaki umeangalia hivi. Nilishindwa na inaendelea kukua. Kila wakati mtoto anaanguka, ana faint, ukiokota mnapeleka hosi wanatibu, akirudisha fahamu unamrudisha. Juu venye unaelezwa, pesa sina, hana mzazi kama baba, ni mimi mama peke yangu na wako watoto 5. Hadi nikashindwa, nikatoka kwa ndoa nikarudi kwetu, nikakaa kwetu. Hiyo vitu zikiendelea kukua, sina msaidizi. Shule ni stress, saa zingine wasome, saa zingine wakae. Ndio sababu akiwa na hii miaka 16 angali standard 7, kwa sababu wataka watarudi mwaka ingine unakosa wanaka. Ikawa maisha ni kuhangaika hivyo hadi nikafika wakati nika give up. Nikasema hata kama Mungu ni kuchukua, basi mimi nimeshindwa, sina njia ingine. Hadi juzi last week venye nikiwa hapa Nairobi, huku nilikuja hakuna kazi. Ukifulia mtu nguo leo, mwezi itaisha. Ukiitwa kulimia mtu kwa shamba, utalima, akikupea hiyo 300 bado haitakusaidia. Ni hivyo tu kushughulika, kungangana. Sasa hata ya ugonjwa nikawa nimesahau. Sasa juzi venye alikolapse shule Wednesday, ndio mwalimu akachukua hatua ya kumbeba hospitali. Ndio mwalimu akasema hapana, hii ni serious, huyu mtoto anaumia. Wakaniuliza, nikaambia walimu sina anything. Wakaniambia unaweza kuja, nikaambia hata Nairobi penye nimekaa hata fare peke yake shilingi 500.